Welcome to 5 Good Minutes.
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Daniel
With Brady Randall.
My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. That was a children's song that I learned at church growing up, and you might think that's a cute song, but if those lyrics of that song aren't actually true, then you might as well tune out right now. But if in fact it's true that God is so big and so powerful, and He's sovereign over all things, over all nature and over all history, and over your life and mine, and not just sovereign, but He's actually for you and I in all things, then that reality is life-changing and comforting. We're kicking off today in Daniel chapter 2, and the book of Daniel, as we've seen and we'll see, contains biblical prophecy where God gives visions and dreams which symbolize certain realities. And some of these images are hotly debated over exactly what they mean. And for our purposes, for only 5 good minutes, I want to try not to lose the forest with the trees. But over these next 5 days, I want us to look together at how God's power shows up. And so to set up this chapter, King Nebuchadnezzar, in the second year of his reign, is having troubling dreams. And dreams are crazy. Did you ever have one of those vivid dreams and you wake up asking yourself, what in the world was all that about? Well, that's what happens to King Nebuchadnezzar. In the first 4 verses, we read that his mind was troubled, he couldn't sleep, and so he summons all the experts, the magicians, the enchanters, the sorcerers, astrologers, to interpret this dream. And by the way, here's what's going to happen. Verse 5, it says, "The king replied to the astrologers, 'This is what I have firmly decided. If you do not tell me what my dream was and interpret it, I will cut you into pieces, and your houses will be turned into piles of rubble.' Verse 6, "But if you tell me the dream and explain it, you'll receive from me gifts and rewards and great honor." So right away, we see that God is showing His power over crises in verses 6 through 18. And so they basically come to him and they say, this is an impossible task. And then verse 10 and following says this, "The astrologers answered the king, 'There is no one on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however great and mighty, has asked such a thing of any magician or enchanter or astrologer. What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal to the king except the gods, and they do not live among the humans.' And so God wanted to show all the experts and the gods that they relied upon that they were absolutely worthless and powerless to reveal this dream. This is a really dire situation. Everyone is ordered to be killed. I don't know if you've ever been in that kind of situation before, and maybe not having been about to have your life taken. Maybe your life wasn't threatened, but you feel like there's nowhere else to go. What are you going to do? And at this moment, Daniel does the only thing he knows to do. He goes to God in prayer. And in verse 18, he pleads for mercy from God. In verse 18, he says, concerning this mystery, he's pleading for mercy so that his 3 friends aren't put to death. They are goners unless God comes through. Their death is sure, and the executioner is on his way. I think one of the reasons that God sometimes allows us to go through really difficult things is to remind us that He's the only one who can deliver us. What seems impossible from a human perspective is only possible through God. You may have heard it said before that God will not give you more than you can handle. That's just not true. That's not actually in the Bible. The Bible does says that humans, Christians in particular, won't be tempted beyond what we can bear, but He will provide a way out. But what the Bible does say in 2 Corinthians 1:9, where Paul is experiencing lots of difficulty in ministry, he's even wanting to die, and he says, this has happened so that we would not rely on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead. And even though Daniel may not have yet known it, this was a setup to show the power of God. And I want to encourage you today, if you are in or when you're in again a difficult or impossible situation, it is not too big for God. And you may be put here precisely because God wants to come through for you in a way that is unmistakable, in a way that only He gets the credit. So remember, friends, today, our God is so big, so strong, and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.